Are you still scared of chicken thighs, or do you think the chicken breast reigns supreme? Well, that ends today. I've got 4 chicken thigh recipes that you need to add into your weekly rotation, especially if you're into saving money. I think there are a lot of people that just don't know how to cook chicken in general, and if that is you, then you need to start with the chicken thigh. It is a whole lot harder to mess that up than a chicken breast, and it's a whole lot cheaper. I'm gonna start with a recipe that shows you how to get that crispy skin with honey garlic chicken thighs. This is going to be your definite crowd pleaser. My kids love it. They will inhale it. You might want to double the recipe. So for this, I am using the bone-in, skin-on chicken thigh. This one we're going to cook in a skillet on the stove. I'm also giving you a different preparation for each recipe. You just need half of an onion. You want to finely chop it. This is honey garlic chicken, so you want to go kind of heavy on the garlic. I love this dinner because it's so easy. Like, this is one you can do when you get home from work because the prep is so minimal. The best thing ever is crispy chicken skin on your chicken thighs. To get that, you need to pat them dry first. All right, and then to season our chicken thighs, all we need is salt and pepper. While you're gonna 100% wanna keep this recipe forever, the main takeaway that I really want you to get is the cooking method, because then you can adjust it to whatever flavors you're feeling that day. So you want to get a skillet, like medium-high heat until it's hot. I'm going in with a little avocado oil. I like using like a more neutral flavored oil when I've got like Asian flavored spices going in. Once we put this chicken in the skillet, do not touch it. Do not touch it. You've got time to go make a salad, a cocktail, whatever. The chicken will tell you when it's time to flip. Yeah, stick it in there, and that is when it releases easily from the pan. This step takes at least 5 to 7 minutes, so do not rush that. At this point, after we flipped it, we've only cooked it for another minute or 2, and it's not cooked through. We're gonna finish it in the sauce. Again, just remember this method, and then you can zhuzh up the flavors however you want. So now we have all this liquid gold right here, and it cost us no added ingredients. That is the flavor of the chicken fat with just salt and pepper. To the drippings, I'm just gonna go with my onion and garlic. You're gonna cook that down until it's all nice and soft. We're gonna make our sauce. Honey and soy sauce. And then I like to add in just a dash of rice vinegar also to cut some of that fat. And then not in the recipe, but to balance out some of that sweet, I like to add in a little sriracha. And that's it. Now we're gonna finish cooking our chicken in this. So I'm gonna turn the heat down and just let that simmer until the chicken's cooked through. Once you flip them, it only takes about 10 minutes, if that, because we cooked it for so long on the first side. I'm just gonna give it a quick toss in the sauce. That's it. Dinner is served. Beautiful. Smells incredible. Oh yeah. Look how juicy. Oh my God. This is perfection, I can already tell you. I mean, it's crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, as promised. That is a lot of flavor. And that sauce, be sure whatever you serve it with, noodles, rice, to absorb that goodness. This next one uses boneless, skinless chicken thighs. The recipe actually calls for boneless, skinless chicken breast, but I'm gonna show you why you should use this instead. This one is more of like a simmered, braised situation. You run the risk of drying it out and overcooking it when you use the boneless, skinless chicken breast. That's not gonna happen here. And it's just gonna be more flavorful, and it's a cheaper way to make this recipe. So I am gonna cut these in like half. All right, and then we're going to season them with salt and pepper. And this one starts like the last one, where we're going to get it browned and flavorful in here and start to build our flavor base, and then we'll take it out and add it back in to finish cooking. Same rule applies here, don't touch it. Let it get a good brown crust on the first side. If you don't always start by creating that flavor base, you're missing out. I'm going in with some onion, ginger, and garlic. Since we use the skinless chicken thighs, you don't have all that fat that's accumulated on the bottom. So that's why I used a non-stick skillet here. Now is when I'm gonna add in the spices, because they're going to use the fat that's in there and the heat. So they're gonna toast a little bit. And so their flavors are really gonna come out a lot more if you do this and cook them in with the onion and garlic for a little while. Going in with curry powder, some cumin, turmeric, coriander, and cayenne. Lots of strong, delicious flavors. So toast them for just about like 20 seconds or so, and then we'll add in water to lift up the flavor. And then going in with some tomato. What makes this dish so magical is the addition of whole milk yogurt. It adds tang, it adds creaminess. It's just heavenly. You know that's a lot of flavor in the pan. I'm also going in with some cilantro. I'm gonna add the chicken back in along with any juices. And then I'm gonna add in a little more water to thin the sauce out. And we're just gonna bring this up to a simmer and let it cook for about 20 minutes or so until that chicken is cooked through and everything comes together. Flavor it up with some salt, and then we can check for seasoning again later. And the finishing touch is a little fresh lemon juice. You could also add in some garam masala at this point. All right, let's dish it up. A little more cilantro. Then I like to also serve it with a little bit of grilled naan. See how tender that chicken is now? You can just cut it with a fork. Unbelievable. You taste the punch of flavor, like literally before it even gets into your mouth, because you can smell it first. A little bit of tang from that yogurt, but the chicken is so tender and juicy. I don't know why you would even make this with chicken breast. 10 out of 10. Maybe 12 out of 10. This next one is a complete meal in one pan. It requires minimal effort and 0 time at the stove. This is crispy and tender oven-baked chicken thighs. I'm taking this recipe and showing you a little hack on how you can create a whole meal in one pan. So veggies I'm doing are just some red bell pepper and some potatoes, a little onion. Just put your veggies in the bottom of whatever dish you're gonna cook in, add a little oil. I always do a little salt, pepper, maybe a little garlic powder. Again, you can just use this as a method and change out whatever flavors you want. Give that a toss and then place the chicken right on top. This is bone-in, skin on, because we want the flavor from the skin. I'm just going to mix up my spices before I spread them on, just so they spread and incorporate more evenly. So I'm just going in with salt, pepper, garlic powder, oregano, a little onion powder, and smoked paprika. We're gonna pat these dry so that they do get extra crispy as possible. This is the meal you make when you come home from work and you really don't feel like cooking. You're just gonna pop this in the oven. I'm going 375. It'll take about 45 minutes to an hour. Look at the masterpiece we created. See this? They're crispy. First thing I'm gonna do is put some veggies on the plate. Chicken on there. And a little liquid gold. How good does that look? Does it look as good as it smells? Because I wish y'all could smell it in here. So tender, it's like cutting through like butter. Do you see the juiciness right here? The chicken breast could never do that. The way those potatoes have absorbed that juice, it's amazing. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. This recipe is the one you take out to the grill. Today we're just gonna grill inside. These are Turkish chicken kebabs. The key to this recipe is a long marinade in some whole milk Greek yogurt. This is really gonna tenderize the chicken, even though we know it already stays juicy. So start with about a cup of Greek yogurt. To that I'm adding in a lot of garlic. Shocker. And then you're gonna mellow out that tanginess with a little bit of olive oil. I'm gonna go in with some freshly squeezed lemon juice. Never put this ingredient in here, but I'm trusting the process. Aleppo pepper just offers nice flavor. It's not a lot of heat. So if you don't have this or don't want to get it, I would just say leave it out. Kosher salt, cumin, black pepper, and paprika. Cinnamon is just a pinch. It's just gonna offer like a slight undertone of sweetness. And that's it, stir it up. All right, and then we're just gonna toss our chicken into this marinade. For this one, I am using boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Cut these in half so that they thread onto the skewer a little easier. We're gonna add this chicken into the marinade. You wanna coat it really well and then let it marinate for at least a couple hours. The longer you go, the more flavorful it's gonna be. It's gonna be a good night. Our chicken's been marinating for a couple hours. It even feels tender. All right, now I'm gonna thread it onto some skewers. I like to fold the chicken thigh over so that it is a little more substantial. Okay, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put these kebabs down and you're not gonna touch them. After I flip them, I'm just gonna turn it down just a little bit and then just turn them occasionally until they're brown on all sides. Juicy, flavorful, charred, that's what we like. Now that is a feast. Fit for a queen. The smell, the look, everything about this is amazing before I even take a bite. So I'm like to serve this up with something fresh, like a cucumber tomato salad. Okay, here goes. That marinade is so good. You taste everything, and when like the smoky flavor hits it, this is a winner winner. Surely I've convinced you to try one of these recipes and pick up a pack of chicken thighs next time you're in the grocery store. You'll save some money and thank me later. Because thick thighs saves lives. Thick thighs saves lives.